Hi, I'm Kate Sawyer and this is Lynn Chapnick. We're just going to answer some of the most frequently asked questions we've been receiving about the upcoming EHN launch. So we envision that, let's say you are a leader, right? And you are bringing on a new hire. Right now, the conversation might go, we have benefits, here's your booklet. So we envision a conversation where if you are bringing on a new hire, you're really excited about your benefits. You're gonna say, we at company ABC have invested in mental health because we care about mental health and we cover the entire spectrum of mental health, and here's the programming that we offer. We're also envisioning that you're promoting this to your own employees that you already have working with you, right? It's important that they know what you offer and why.
What about when an employee is struggling or displaying signs of mental illness at work?
So it's important as a leader to be prepared for that, right? We don't want to have an employee coming to you and you are now scrambling to go look for the brother of somebody that you know who's a local psychologist and might be willing to fit in the employee, right? So the key here is that we're pre-preparing for these circumstances that are going to happen. So as a leader, we want you to have been trained to understand, what is the difference between a wellness initiative, what's a mental illness, how does that show up in the workplace, right? Because some of that stuff might be surprising. And then it's also important that you know exactly where to find the programming. Your employees have already received that information, but as a leader, you really need to have the tools to go, okay, here's the phone number, or here's the link if you want to use the screening tool. These are the programs that we offer, and here's where to find them. And that way, you're really supporting your team, and it changes the conversation from one of a scrambled reactive to more of a, I'm prepared for this. This employee came to me and I have the tools to help you.
Great, awesome. Why should employers invest in mental health programming?
So this one is, this has really changed, right? Over time, it's become increasingly more important. One of the key things is that engagement is directly related to how an employee feels, their employer and their direct manager feel about them and care about them. Engagement is really important, right? Because you're spending a lot of money on your people and their salaries, and you value them, but you also, as an employer, you really want your people to feel good about coming to work and to be enthusiastic about the work they're doing. And that's gonna, portray in a really good company culture. So that would be one of the major reasons, in addition to it being the right thing to do, and just that, times are changing and people are really valuing that support that their employers give and isn't available, readily available through our provincial plans.
Okay, so the majority of my clients have EAP. So should they cancel it? Is it enough?
So EAP was never designed to treat more than the mild conditions, right? So EAP, it does have a purpose, right? So it has the purpose of, maybe you have a short-term, something's changed in your life, right? Like, you're a new parent and you're just struggling a little bit or wanting to talk to somebody about the changes that have happened in your life. And maybe you only need 6 sessions or just to, you're experiencing anger for the first time or something like that. And you want to kind of explore that. And it's really not impacting your life like a ton, right? You're able to function. You know that you're not feeling the best you've ever felt, but you're not in a state of, constantly being late for work or unable to function and perform the duties of your life inside or outside of work. So EAP is still great for, those more mild situations, but it wasn't ever designed to treat, an addiction or a workplace trauma or outside trauma or depression, anything like that. So, it's really important to have things that cover both the mild and the moderate and severe, because we want to make sure that no matter what you're presenting with, like, we've got the tools and the programming. So I would say having them together and working together is a great way to utilize mental health programming.
And then what is the return on investment and how does it appear?
Okay, so most studies are showing, up to $4 per dollar invested. This can be an interesting one in terms of actually calculating it, because oftentimes you're predicting what didn't happen, right? The cost of, let's say, a long-term disability and having your employee not at work can be hard to fully project when it didn't occur. But the actual calculations that are out there and studies have been done are really showing that investment in employees' health and well-being, and specifically mental health, result in about a $4 per dollar invested return. So, meaning that really you're getting more than the money you're putting in. You're doing the right thing for your employee, and you're also actually saving your company money. So, the risk of not doing it, really, being the company that people go to and say like, oh, you don't invest in your, employees' well-being, is a much higher risk than the very affordable cost of offering the benefit. So.
For sure, yeah. Can you remind me again what's included in the program?
Yeah, so this program that we're launching to our network includes quite a bit. So every month there's a 3-hour leader training session that will be offered so that leaders can go and understand all of the things that they need to know and where to find the products. And then there's an intensive outpatient therapy program, which is pretty extensive, and that goes for 2 months, where the person would enter both group therapy and individual therapy. There's also 10 months of aftercare, where the person is continuing on with the aftercare. There's a screening tool that can be used online, a phone number for people to call when they do need help, or for an employer to call if they need to call, as well as discounts to any inpatient treatment if an employer were to decide that they wanted to support something that maybe was even severe enough that they required inpatient treatment through the EHN network.
Sounds like a great program. And then can you tell me what the launch will look like?
Yeah, so at least 2 weeks before program launch, we will be providing all of the marketing tools an employer would need to get this out to both their leaders and to their employees. So, there will be the screening tool, there will be personalized codes for employers to actually get into their own area to make sure that they're able to track their stats with their own company. And then we will have all of the marketing go out, and that will be continue on as the program is going to help the employers or the leaders actually launch the materials and keep it going. So, we will do that.